Hey Flatline Nation, this is Andrew with Flatline Knives. Today we're going to talk about my first 101 layer Damascus build. Started off with 11 layers of metal, 1084 and 15N20 alternating with the high carbon steel on the outside. Started off by throwing it in the forge, getting it warmed up and ready for flux. After that, got some flux on there. It's important to use the flux to clean between the layers. Got it a little bit hotter than I usually do here, but that's okay. So we get the flux in there on all sides, the top and the bottom and the sides, to get that in there. The flux acts to move the oxygen away, keeps it from oxidizing between the layers, gets it nice and clean. Once it's all fluxed up, and we throw it back in the fire. Fire's burning 2300 degrees. It's awfully hot in there. We throw it in the press and give it an initial forge weld. Squeezed it a little more than I would have liked, but it seemed to turn out just fine. Once you get that initial forge weld set, you can be a little more aggressive in how hard you press it. Here I'm using the edge of the die to scrape the scale off so it doesn't add any crazy indents to the metal, and I'm checking the weld by pressing on the sides to make sure that nothing splits open. Here I'm using the drawing dies to gain some length and give a little bit of activity to the bar. It really helps to have a kiss block on the flat die side of this to make sure you don't over squish. I learned really quick it's easy to over press a piece of material and cause you a whole bunch of headache. Here we have the bar. It's 33 layers. We're going to cut and stack it 3 times and add another piece of 15N20 between the layers to make it 101. Here we go for the final forge weld of this particular billet. It turned out really nice. You can tell it's a good forge weld because it's all roughly the same color. Here we go for the next press. I'm still pressing it on the flat side so I don't upset any welds there. And once I'm sure it's set, I'll go in from the sides and just double check those welds. Here we go again with the drawing dies, adding some texture and some depth. You can see I've got a kiss block on the flat die side just to make sure, again, I don't overpress. This gives the Damascus a really cool kind of ripply pattern. Here's the final billet. It's 101 layers. You can see a little bit of the texture in there. One of my favorite parts of making this Damascus was looking at the different end cuts. After all that work, I couldn't wait to get the billet into the acid, and I was so excited about how it turned out. It looks amazing. Then I did some forging on the blade to get it closer to shape, and I profiled it on the grinder, and now I'm smoothing out the flats so I can get a good idea of what the pattern looks like. I did a few test etches as I was grinding to make sure that the profile of the blade was going to follow the pattern. Now the part everybody's been waiting for, the reveal of the pattern after it's been ground. Still needs to be heat treated and final sanded, so the pattern will change a little bit, but it's just stunning. Overall, I'm super happy with how this turned out, and I can't wait to get it finished up. Thank you so much for following along with part 1 of this Damascus build. I hope it's inspired you to give it a try. Part 2 will be coming soon.